So, good morning. Welcome back to Planet Doug. Just cycling down the main road near my hotel here in Tanjung Balai. Nice sunny day. It's a Friday. I didn't even realize it was a Friday when I set off, but it is a Friday, which means a lot of places are closed. It's the holy day of the week here for the Muslim community. But man, that does not reduce the level of traffic, I can tell you that. Wow. I'm very curious about this road, to be honest, and where it leads, because it goes past my hotel behind me, and as far as I can tell on Google Maps, it just goes off into the countryside. And yet the amount of traffic that flows by my hotel, I can hear the roar of it from my room day and night. It feels like there must be a metropolis of 1 million people out in that direction. And yet when you look at the map, there's nothing out there but fields and the river. So my original idea for this bike ride was to turn right and ride like 4 kilometers that way down to the river and just see what's there. Where are all these people going and where are they all coming from? But at the last minute, I decided to go somewhere a little bit more visually interesting, maybe. I'm quite interested in all the fishing boats here in Tanjung Balai, the fishing industry. And there's a bridge on the way to the main ferry terminal where I spotted a lot of fishing boats in a river, like a tributary to the main river. And I've often been thinking about exploring that neighborhood a little bit. And it's about the same distance as if I were going that way, it's about 4 kilometers down to the river, heading where I'm going now, 4.5, 5 kilometers maybe, so it's not far. But yeah, it's always an adventure here when it comes to the traffic. Wow. Beautiful day though. We've had almost nothing but rain here in Tanjung Balai, which has kept me indoors a lot more than I wanted to be. And I do find that once you get out of the habit of recording your entire life on GoPro video, once you lose the habit, it's kind of hard to get back into it again because it's such a labor-intensive thing to do. So, wow, look at this. I talk about this all the time, sort of behind the scenes, that just living here in this part of the world, like being in a place like Tanjung Balai, just existing, pretty much takes 100% of your energy. And then you add to that, like just doing what I'm doing today, riding your bicycle somewhere, that takes another 100% of your energy. So you're already up to 200%. And then set about setting up a couple of GoPro cameras to record your bike ride. Well, you're up to like 300%. And today, I'm not even feeling at 50%. So I do not have enough energy or mental focus to do this, to be honest. But here I am, trying to get back into the swing of things. And I actually have 3 GoPros running right now. I've got my main GoPro, the GoPro Hero 12. That's this one, filming me. And then I have a second GoPro mounted on the broomstick, hanging from below the broomstick, pointing forward. That's the view from that GoPro. And just for fun, I mounted a third GoPro Hero 9 on the back. Like I attached it, I think, to the seat post, and it's pointing behind me. I'm just curious what that perspective looks like, and assuming it's recording right now and is still there, That's what that perspective looks like right now. And then I can put them all into the editing program, switch from one to the other. Yeah, I've been a little bit ill here in Tanjung Balai lately. On top of the heavy rains and the poor weather, I got struck down by the usual stomach problems you always have when you're overseas, and it got pretty bad. So it's taken me a while to get through that illness, and I'm just now sort of coming out the other side. But as of this morning, as I'm filming this, I haven't eaten for about 3 days now, so I don't have a huge amount of energy. But yeah, I can't eat yet until I'm fully recovered. But if you hear me sounding less intelligent than normal and being out of breath and making a lot of mistakes, well, I'll just blame it on not eating for a while. It's my usual method of dealing with illness. Whatever bacteria I picked up and is now having a big disco party in my digestive tract, I just stop feeding it. I just don't give it any more food, and hopefully I can starve it out, beat it into submission, and then I can go back to eating again. Just reached the main road that heads into downtown Tanjung Balai. My usual route. Whoa! Has me, forgot to gear down, has me turning right here. Big park off to my left. I do wish from time to time that I moved into a hotel downtown just to be closer to all the action. I like my neighborhood, but it would be nice to be here sometimes, closer to the big park. It's where all the events take place. But I've never been able to find a budget-friendly hotel downtown. Not one that was livable anyway. The one good hotel here is the one I often talk about. We're just coming up on it here, the Grand Singhi Hotel, but it's 3, 4, or 5 times more expensive than where I'm staying, so it's kind of outside my budget. Hello. My microphone just fell off my GoPro. I'm gonna have to, this has become a recurring problem with these really bumpy roads here. I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm running the risk of losing my microphone completely. Man, when I'm sitting inside my hotel room, I can, like I said, I can hear the roar of the traffic, and it often feels like all of the traffic of Tanjung Balai is right inside that room with me. I kind of like it. It's a constant reminder of where I am, even if I'm not outside or not looking out the window. But here, by the way, you would turn left to go into the market, but I'm not going to do that today. I wouldn't be able to ride through the market. I would have to get off the bike and walk it, and there's a lot of congestion there. All right. I say that, and then I run into a traffic jam right here. But I was saying that it feels like, oh, big school here, that's why. Yeah, whenever you run into a traffic jam, just look around, you'll see a school, even on a Friday. But I was saying all the traffic in Tanjung Balai seems to be going right by my hotel. But then you come out here into the real world and like, no, this is where the traffic is. So here's the road that crosses the main bridge. Hello. Yeah, the main produce market is going to be off on my left, right up here. Every time I say something like that I'm fine, thank you, that the market is off to my left, it makes me think about using a 360 camera. Because my GoPros, I've got 3 of them, but none of them are pointing to the left, so that's the advantage. Hello, how are you? Check out the river. This is the main river. It is full. So much rain lately. There's been a lot of flooding around Sumatra. Yeah, the last time I went out on a bike ride, I used my Insta360 X5. I like that camera for that reason I mentioned. You can point it in any direction. But man, it was such a huge job reframing all of that video, and the video quality was so poor compared even to my GoPros. It was a lot of work to produce a video that looked worse. So today I set off with my GoPros, no 360 camera today. So I got through that really busy area. I'm gonna check on my GoPros, see if they're all still working and pointing in the right direction. Turning off the one pointing backwards. Turning off the one pointing forwards. And now turning off the Hero 12. Hero 12 recording. Forward Hero 9 recording. And now the rearward. Is recording. Yeah, all my GoPros seem to be working. I'm about 1.5 kilometers away from the bridge. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot weaker than I thought. I stepped off my bike just to check my GoPros, and kind of a wave of dizziness went over me and I almost fell over. So we're not going to be going out on a huge adventure today. Don't have enough energy for anything like that. I've had quite a few camera adventures that I suppose I could talk about as I ride along. And you can look at Sumatra all around me as I go. Yeah, another market here. Smaller, well, could be a bigger market, I don't really know. But yeah, there's always a lot of traffic congestion here. But yeah, when I was shooting with the 360 camera. Hello. There was a lot of vibration because I have the camera mounted on this broomstick that sticks out towards the front of my bike. So I was trying to reduce the amount of vibration, and to do that I changed, I think, 4 different things. I cut the broomstick shorter so it's less likely to bounce because it's closer to me and shorter, a bit firmer. I also simplified the mounting apparatus. Took out one section, which adds a little bit of rigidity. And then I added a rope. My name is Douglas. I took quite a stiff rope and tied it between the broomstick and my bicycle pannier rack. I pull it really tight to add tension to the broomstick. Ah, train station. Right. It's the market and the train station. I keep forgetting that it's here. Again, if I had a 360 camera, you could look at it, but that's the train station over there. Always a lot of Becak here, waiting for passengers when they come off the train. So yeah, I tied a rope to the broomstick, and I don't know how effective it is. It seems to be effective. It tensions the broomstick so it doesn't bounce as much, but it also means that it limits how far it can bounce upward. Hello. Because the rope keeps it from going upwards. It can still bounce down a little bit, but when it comes back up, it hits the limit of the rope. Anyway, I spent a lot of time fine-tuning that system and dialing it in, figuring out how to get the right tension on the rope and tie it off. I wanted to mount a brace, like another broomstick as a triangular brace. I'm okay. And I could still do that, but it seemed to be getting a little bit out of control, the complexity of my system. It would look like I'm starting to design some sort of an armored personnel carrier with a battering ram on the front or something. So I didn't try to add any kind of a brace. So that's one thing I did. And because the GoPro is now closer to me, because the broomstick is shorter, I changed it from the linear field of view to a wide field of view. And I'm not entirely sure how it's working out. One advantage to this new system that I really like is that by shortening the broomstick, I lowered the GoPro. It used to be almost at eye level, and I found it was blocking my view of the road directly up ahead a little bit. It was just sort of annoying. I kept trying to look around it. But now that I've lowered it, I'm looking right over the top of it, so it's kind of lined up with my neck now instead of my eyes. And I feel more comfortable now. I don't have to work so hard to see past the GoPro. I don't really notice it anymore. Whew. Yeah, I'm so tired. As I said, I don't think this is going to be a big adventure. This is going to be me riding my bike here, looking around for a few minutes, and then riding back again while chatting. That is something you have to get used to in this part of the world. When you're on a bicycle, you definitely are the lowest member of the traffic hierarchy. I know that if I were driving in Canada and I wanted to turn left and there was a cyclist right in front of me, I would slow down, let the cyclist cross the intersection, and then I turn left behind him. But here, hello, they don't tend to do that. They just come right up to you, like parallel with me, and then cut directly right in front. And that's normal here. You just have to plan for it and be aware that it's going to happen. Whew. I gotta pull over again. It's hard to catch my breath. Yeah, this may not have been a good idea. The heat is really getting to me. Feeling a bit a bit faint. Okay. Rest here in the shade for a minute. I'm right at the bridge. The noise level from these motorcycles is really quite something too. The mosque, call to prayer. Anyway, I'm gonna shut down for a minute. Hello.
Lagi. Lagi, jajan.
Hello. Like that? You got me in it. I go like this. Let me get down. Bye-bye. Nice to meet you. So, a little photo session at the side of the road. Yeah, I'm gonna walk my bike across because I'm right beside the river and I want to see if there's a small road here that I can follow. Yeah. So busy. So here we are. The girls that I was just taking pictures with are just up ahead of me. So they probably live back in this neighborhood. I just wanted to see if I can get down to the river.
Hi, Mr. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Oh. Oh. No, I guess go around that way. Oh, okay. Ah. I go this way. About. Hello. Canada. Yeah. Hi. So yeah, to get down to the fishing boats, I'm gonna have to find another path. Ooh. Had to stop for a bit of a break in the shade again. For my GoPro and for me, I was feeling quite faint. Uh-oh. This is the road I want to go down. And now it is blocked in some fashion. Let's see if I can go this way on a bicycle. So okay? Just to walk? Yeah. I can just go through there. Oh no, just here.
Just like what?
Yeah, I'm gonna ride my bicycle there. Oh, terima kasih. Oh, so yeah, it looks like they're having a wedding or something, and they blocked it to traffic, but they let me walk my bicycle through. I'm not sure how else I could come this way. So yeah, I had to stop in the shade for me. Hello. And for my GoPro. I'm fine, thank you. My main GoPro, my Hero 12, overheated and shut down. Hello to Sungai. And I think this might be the road. Oh man, I can't. Hello, how are you? Yeah. Oh man. Oh, hey. Hello, how are you? Go just to the river. Look at the boats, fishing boats. But it's very hot today. Yeah, I don't feel good because of the heat. I think I have to go in the shade for a minute. This is just a few meters away from the mosque where they're having the wedding or something. And I had to pull over into the shade again. I could feel I was... This was not a good idea to go outside today. I'm not fully recovered yet. But not to make such a big deal out of this, because something I've learned since I've started making YouTube videos is that walking and talking and cycling and talking takes a lot more energy than just walking or just cycling. So if I were just riding my bike, I wouldn't feel so out of it. It's actually talking at the same time while I'm riding. That it makes me feel faint. I can't keep up with my breathing properly. That's what's doing it. So I'm not really in as bad a shape as I'm making myself out to be. It's trying to talk at the same time. So And then when I tried to stop in a couple of places and rest, the local people would come up and talk to me. So even though I'm trying to rest, I keep having this long conversation. And I just never get a chance to catch up with my oxygen. Like even now, I'm feeling faint. Yeah. Heat stroke city. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm slowly catching up with my breathing and had some water. I just wanted to tell this interesting story because it's quite a coincidence. I'm like 5 kilometers away from my hotel, and I pulled over here to look at Google Maps to try and find the road that goes down to the river. And then simply looking down at my phone is when the wave of a faintness kind of overcame me. So, yeesh, I can't catch up. But anyway, while I was there trying to recover, a young man pulled up beside me on a scooter, just a local man here. And then he started talking to me in Indonesian, and I tried to explain to him I couldn't understand, and we were trying to have a conversation. And I couldn't catch my breath. And then another man showed up on a scooter, and he was dressed in a nice white robe, like a very beautiful Muslim garment from neck to toes. And he had a Muslim hat on. And then he spoke some English, and he started talking to me. And he was translating for the younger man, who I couldn't understand, and he was talking to me and translating a bit. And then I told them I couldn't stand up anymore. I had to come into the shade to sit down, but, they could come. I'm fine talking to them, but I need to sit down. So I came here and sat down before I fell over. And then the young man, he came over here because he wanted, his main goal in talking to me was to get a picture with me. So even though I could barely keep my eyes open, he was taking all these selfies with me. I'm posing and trying to keep my eyes open, trying to breathe. And then I'm taking selfies with him. And then I turned to the other man who spoke some English. Very nice man, spoke enough English we could communicate. And then he looks at me and he says, don't you recognize me? And I said, I'm sorry, but, you do look familiar, I have to admit it, but no, I don't recognize you. Like, where did we meet? And I was thinking, I must have met him on the ferry going back and forth to Port Dickson, or I've ridden out this way on my bike several times. Have I met him on previous bike rides? I couldn't put it together. And then he said, no, I work at the chicken shop, a chicken restaurant near my hotel. Like right beside my hotel, there's this chicken restaurant. It's a very comfortable place to sit, that's air conditioned, has a very simple meal of fried chicken and rice. It's a filling meal and it's economic. So, I end up going there quite often. And he works behind the counter. And he started working there, I thought, like maybe a month ago or something like that. So he's kind of a new employee. And he says, yeah, that's where I work. I know you because you come into my restaurant all the time. And I was like, oh, now I know you. Now I recognize you because, yeah, when you get to know people, you know them through how they dress a lot of times. That's a major visual clue. And in this case, yeah, he was in completely different clothing, a different setting. So I didn't make the connection. Feeling faint again. Yeah, I think the thing is when you're speaking, you don't breathe deeply. You're breathing with shallow breaths, I think, when you're talking. So that's why you can't make up the oxygen deficit. So I have to stop talking for another minute here. Or maybe maybe it's the opposite. You know how if you breathe in and out a lot, you hyperventilate and you overload on oxygen and then you feel faint. It could be I'm hyperventilating. That could be what I'm doing. And I need to slow down my breathing. Yeah, I don't know. It's one or the other. Okay, that's my new theory. I'm going to go with that theory. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's not really the heat. It's not really feeling ill. It's hyperventilating. That's why I get dizzy and I feel faint, because I'm hyperventilating. That makes a lot more sense. Because yeah, that's what people do when someone is hyperventilating. They make them breathe into a paper bag, and that reduces the amount of oxygen in the air that they're breathing, and therefore they don't feel faint anymore. I think that's what's going on with me. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. But yeah, I was just saying that the man I was speaking to, just by utter coincidence, I happened to stop at a corner near the house where he lives. He just lives up this road. And then he was riding his scooter from his house to a nearby mosque for Friday prayers. So the fact that we actually ran into each other like 5 kilometers away from the restaurant, it's pretty, yeah, that's quite a coincidence. Yeah, I wanted to talk to him a lot longer, and he was going to sit with me here, but then he says, yeah, he's really got to get to the mosque, so I had to let him go. But before he left, I did ask him a couple of questions. I'm very curious about people's economic life and their work life. And I thought since we'd sort of gotten to know each other a little bit better, I felt comfortable asking him. Because I asked him, he said he rode his bike a lot too, but he wouldn't ride his bike to the restaurant because it's too far and he works long hours. So I thought, there's an opening where I can ask him. And I asked him, well, how long do you work every day? How long is your shift? And he thought about it and he says, yeah, about 14 hours. So he works a 14-hour shift, I believe 6 days a week. And then I asked him, well, do you mind if I ask you, what your monthly salary is? And he said, 2 million rupiah per month. So I was going to do the math on that and see. I asked him, okay, is that enough for you to buy a scooter like this? He had a nice, modern scooter, a good one, and, to buy a bicycle and have a family and pay for his family's food and that kind of thing. Like, is 2 million a month for your monthly living costs and to pay for a scooter? And 2 million is $120 US. So $120 a month. The GoPro. What do you mean? It's a video for YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. Yeah, I have an audience of a couple of young guys from the neighborhood. But yeah, that works out to 1,400 US a year. But the more meaningful figure for me is that dividing a monthly figure. So yeah, $120 a month, which it's hard to believe it's sufficient to maintain a family, a house, and to keep a scooter running. But yeah, that's the reality, I guess, of the salaries here in Tanjung Balai. People don't make a lot of money here.
Penonton banyak penonton gara-gara bule. Naik penonton.
Is this On Facebook?
Iya,
Facebook live stream.
streaming.
Live streaming.
Banyak penonton gara-gara bule dari Kanada.
Yeah.
Turis.
Tourists from Canada in Tanjung Balai.
Ada penonton juga. Coba kamu kamari woi, kako ada saya datang ke rumahku. Jatuh.
Ah.
Kau senggol dia?
Tidak.
Iyalah, rumahku.
Hopefully the
Disenggol.
camera survived. Seems okay. Oh. So I ended up staying in that shaded area for quite a long time. A group of people who live there in the nearby houses, they all came out to chat with me. And I changed batteries in all my GoPros and did a bunch of things and slowly caught my breath. But yeah, as soon as I start talking again, I'm having trouble. So anyway, I rode down one of these small side streets. I just wanted to see where they go and if I end up near the river. Yeah. Oh, this is quite interesting here. Oh man. I may have to stop talking. I can't. But anyway, I'm right here. I was sitting in the shade just over there, and there's a local cemetery right here. Whew. So I'm going to try to go down these small streets, but so I'm trying to head down these very small streets to get to the riverside, but so far I'm not having much luck. It feels to me like today is a special day. It's not just an ordinary Friday. Hello. So yeah, there's a lot of people at the mosque, more than I'm accustomed to seeing. And then they were saying that on this special day, it would be a generous gesture on my part to give them a gift of money. And then they were saying that the one of the women there was pregnant, about to have another baby. And they were saying it would be very nice if I could give her some money for the birth of her new baby coming up. Those situations are always a little bit hard to navigate because I'm not really sure what the meaning is. Anyway, I'm having a lot of trouble speaking. Feels like if I try to talk, I'm just going to fall over. So again, I have to stop talking, I think. Man, I haven't felt this weak in a really long time. Hello. Hello. Yeah, I remember the last time I felt like this was going, I think, way back. Whoop. Way back to Ethiopia. I got so sick in Ethiopia. And then I started riding my bike again. And I went into this huge river canyon. It actually is the canyon for the Nile River, which has its origins there in Ethiopia. And yeah, I barely made it out. I kept having to collapse at the side of the road because I kept feeling so faint. Oh, anyway, yeah, there's really no way to get to the river here and see these fishing boats. I'm gonna have to do a lot more exploring to find my way down to the river, but I don't think that's gonna happen today. I think all I can do at this point is turn around and start cycling back to the hotel. I'm gonna have to come back here on another day. Fascinating neighborhood. I love it here. Very interesting. But yeah, today's just not a good day to be here. Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay. Just panas for me. Yeah. Too hot. Yeah. Whew. Now I have to figure out how to get out of here. I didn't really keep track of my progress. Where's the mosque? Let's see. Whew. So I'm afraid that is it for this little trip. Not a single glimpse of the river, not a single fishing boat, but yeah, it's not the day to be out roaming around that neighborhood. So I've basically turned around. I'm back on the busy road again, heading back into Tanjung Balai. Oh. We'll see how it goes, whether I can not feeling good, whether I can talk or not while I'm cycling. Doesn't feel like it. Yeah, this is a physically tough little ride, not just for me, but for everything, because my GoPro Hero 12 shuts down from overheating frequently. It barely lasted at all today. I was surprised at that because I thought it was doing better, but yeah, but I mean, come on, a day like today, this is extreme. You're not going to get hotter conditions than this. It'd be very difficult. But I do wonder how the competition would fare. The DJI Action line are clearly better when it comes to dealing with overheating. Be interesting to test one of them in conditions like this. Whether even the mighty Action 4 or Action 5 Pro could survive in this heat. They probably could. Better than the GoPro, of course. Look, Tanjung Balai. But yeah, I don't know if they can last in this heat either. Have to test one out. And my bicycle suffered too. Hey. When I was there talking to the family, I had my bike just sitting there, sitting on its kickstand, and then a little boy who lived there was riding around on his bicycle, and I guess he went to check out my bike, and he pushed on it or ran into it or something. And this kickstand is not the most stable in the world, so that little nudge from that boy sent my bike crashing over. And yeah, I was wondering what got damaged. Particularly the GoPros, I was wondering, because all the GoPros were still mounted on the bike. I was worried that they would have hit the ground pretty hard, but I think they survived. Whew. I'm almost back at the main bridge again. The clock tower and the main bridge. And I can feel something going on down below. So I can't stay out here much longer. I've got to get back to a bathroom pretty darn quickly. I thought maybe I was over it, but apparently I'm not. I'm going to have to head back to shelter as soon as I can. All right. Yeah, and since I've been talking a lot about cameras, I might as well continue in that trend, because I recently came across a kind of a brand new YouTube channel, a cyclist actually. It's an American who is riding his bicycle and shooting some YouTube videos along the way. His channel is called American Hobo, and he's quite different from the norm. He's not a standard YouTuber. Like, he just started doing it 3 months ago, and as he said in his first video, he was just doing it for himself. He's been traveling most of his life, kind of in a hobo, like extreme low budget style. I think even riding the rails and things like that in the United States, maybe. Hello. But yeah, he's been traveling that way and living that kind of lifestyle for many, many years. But then he decided to try cycling, and cycling was a new thing for him. Got to tighten my my mount. Yeah, can't really talk very much. Let's see. Yeah, I think I turn right here. Anyway, he decided to start cycling in Vietnam. He was in Vietnam for I'm fine, thank you. Good. So he was in Vietnam for 1 month already, just traveling by bus and by scooter. And then he had 2 months left on his visa. So he bought a bicycle, a local one, for $100. And he put his backpack on the back rack, strapped it down, and started cycling. And he started taking video with a smartphone. Hey. There's a dinosaur motorcycle. It's got no muffler at all. You see a lot of those here in Tanjung Balai. So loud. To pull over, let him get ahead of me. He's too loud. I can't even hear myself think. Yeah, I can't talk. This is going to be a very slow trip back to my hotel. Anyway, the American Hobo was shooting a video every single day, which is pretty incredible. He was bike touring for the very first time, making a YouTube channel for the very first time, and he was posting a video every single day, which is an amazing physical accomplishment. And then he was taking it relatively seriously, I guess, because he wanted to upgrade his camera from a smartphone to get an actual camera. And to my surprise, instead of an action, like a DJI Action 4 or 5 Pro or a GoPro, he bought a Pocket 3. And of course, a Pocket 3 is a great camera, but it's not the first camera I would think of in terms of taking video on a bicycle. And I think ever since he got the Pocket 3, he's been riding his bicycle, holding onto the handlebars with one hand, like I'm doing right now, and then holding onto the Pocket 3 with his other hand, and then aiming it around. And then I guess he would put it away and then take it out again when he wanted to shoot more video. And that's what he's been doing all through half of Vietnam, then Cambodia, now Thailand, and he's heading towards the border with Malaysia. But watching his videos just had me thinking about the way he was taking video and not mounting the camera and stuff like that. It's quite interesting that he was doing it without mounting it on the bicycle at all. But his $100 bicycle hasn't been doing that well. Lots and lots of flat tires, particularly on the rear wheel. In the last couple of videos I saw, the spokes were starting to break on his rear wheel as well. And he had 5 broken spokes on the rear wheel that he had to get repaired. So his $100 bicycle isn't dealing with carrying the weight of him and his backpack at the same time, because the bike's not designed for bike touring. It's not strong enough. I'm here at the main roundabout. The big truck coming up behind me. Pick up some speed so I don't get clobbered by the traffic.
Where are you?
I'm from Canada.
Canada?
Whoa.
What are you doing now?
Oh, just taking video.
Oh, you have a YouTube account?
Yeah, of course,
Oh,
yeah.
what's that?
It's called, I can show you.
Yeah, you can show me, I can follow you.
No, it's all right, I have a name card.
Okay.
That's it there. Planet
good.
Doug.
Oh, nice. Come from Canada?
Yeah.
Where do you stay here?
The hotel.
Hotel, what's name hotel?
Malahayati.
Oh, it's in front of my house.
Okay.
In front of my house, Malahayati.
Okay.
What's number your room?
I don't know.
If you want, I help you for traveling in my
Okay.
Kalimantan city. You can call me.
Well, usually I'm okay.
Okay. What's your
But
name?
yeah, Douglas.
Name? Oh, Nining.
Okay.
Nice to meet you, sir.
You too.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah, today I'm just very hot.
Have a good day.
Oh. I barely made it through that little conversation. It's hard to stay on my feet. So weird. I don't know why I'm so weak. I can't keep up with the friendly energy of Tanjung Balai today. It's too much to deal with. Heading for shelter. And the other thing I was thinking about today, I mean, I started off talking about how nice it would be to be using a 360 camera. And then there were so many situations I was in today where that was pretty obvious, because I would pull over to rest and then people would talk to me. But I wouldn't get any video of the conversation because none of my GoPros were pointing in the right direction. And it would be nice to switch over to the 360 camera for that. And the last thought along those lines is that this week, Insta360 just released their brand new camera, the X5. And while I was sick all this week, I spent some time checking out the reviews of the camera and all the technical specs and features, and at the very least, I guess it would take much nicer looking video than my X3. So that would be one big advantage that it has. Ooh, almost back at the hotel. My road is right here. I'm turning left. Another kilometer to go. And I'll be okay. So, lesson learned. Should have stayed in bed today. I wasn't ready to go outside, but hey, turned into a bit of an interesting adventure, perhaps. Just me talking about not feeling so good most of the time. Anyway, I'm almost back at my hotel, so I think I'm going to shut down the video here. And as always, I will hopefully see you in the next video whenever I manage to crawl out of bed and get back out into the real world once more. I'll see you then. Welcome to the Blue Dot segment for this Planet Doug video, and in the Blue Dot I use Google Maps just to show you where I went in this video, where I was and then where I went during the day. And I call it the Blue Dot because normally Google Maps shows you a blue dot on the map to show you where you are. But for some reason on my laptop in particular, Google often says it has no idea where I am, so the blue dot never actually shows up. I've tried to fix it, but I've never been able to. But anyway, right now, this is where I am, where I'm moving my pink cursor around, and there's supposed to be a blue dot there, but that is not showing up today for some reason. Anyway, I was in the city of Tanjung Balai, on the island of Sumatra in Indonesia. And of course, this is Sumatra right here, the island just nearby my cursor. Malaysia is just a little bit to the north, and then further north, Thailand and Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia and Vietnam. Off to the east, we've got the Philippines, and then if you head off to the west, we run into Sri Lanka, India, Bangladesh is up here. So this is basically where I was, near the city of Medan. So let's zoom in closer, and more details should show up. So here we are. This is Sumatra over here. This is the Malacca Strait. This is Malaysia over there. And there's the city, the big city of Medan that I mentioned. And I am currently here in the city of Tanjung Balai, right on the coast. And in my recent lifetime, I've often ended up here in Tanjung Balai, mainly for the fact that there is a very convenient ferry that goes back and forth from Malaysia to Sumatra. And the ferry that I took leaves from this city here on the coast of Malaysia, Port Dickson, and then the ferry goes across Malacca Strait, goes up a river here, and then deposits you at Tanjung Balai. So that's where I am now. Zoom in a bit further. And here's the river that I mentioned. The ferry will come in here and drops you off at a dock right here. And I came here like a month ago, something like that. And then after you get out of the ferry terminal, you can find your own transportation, which I did. And then I managed to work my way all the way down to here, the Hotel Malahayati. And that's where I've been staying here in Tanjung Balai. And as I said, normally there would be a blue dot right there to show you my location, but it's not showing up today. So let's zoom in on Tanjung Balai a little bit more, and then I can show you exactly where I went on this bike ride on that extremely, extremely hot day. So where I wanted to go was essentially right here, again, where you see my cursor moving. There's a tributary to the main river right here. You can see this winding tributary, and it goes underneath a bridge right here. And I've ridden my bicycle across this bridge many times, and when you look over to the right in this river, you see dozens of local fishing boats. So my idea on this day was to ride my bike here and then somehow make my way down to the river shore and check out all of these fishing boats. And I assumed I would have some interesting places to explore, and I would meet some local people and have some small adventures. So I started off from here, the Hotel Malahayati, on my bicycle, and then I rode my bike along this very surprisingly busy small road until I met up with the main road. Very challenging intersection right there, especially for someone on a bicycle. It's always quite a hectic scene riding my bike across here, and then because here in Indonesia they ride on the left side of the road, so it's not like Canada. This would be an easy corner in Canada or the United States because we drive on the right, so a right-hand turn is the easy turn. But in Indonesia it's the opposite. If you turn left, then you just basically merge into traffic and away you go. But here I had to cross over this busy street and turn right. But I managed to do it this time. I just waited until there was a buildup of a whole bunch of local scooters trying to make a right-hand turn. And then when that crowd of them pushed out into the middle of traffic, they block traffic in both directions. And I used them as a kind of shield. And then I made my way across. So then I basically rode along here, a very busy road, and I made my way to this intersection. Big intersection right here, turned left, and that takes me by the produce market, which is right here on this road, and then this is the main bridge of Tanjung Balai. I cycled across the bridge, and then in the video I stopped at one point just to check on all my GoPro cameras, make sure that they were all recording and pointing in the right direction. And that I did that right about here where my cursor is. And then I continued cycling along, and I passed by the train station. There it is here, the Tanjung Balai train station. And then I crossed past the train station, continued all the way up to here, just before the bridge. And it was right here that some local high school girls ran up to me and they wanted to take some selfies with me. You can see that in the video. So I took pictures with these girls here. That was a lot of fun. And assuming you've watched the video, you know that I was really struggling. It was so hot. It felt like the hottest day I had ever experienced. But that was partially because I've been ill for quite a while, and I'm just starting to recover, and I hadn't eaten for a number of days, and I guess I was also really dehydrated. That might have been my biggest problem, but I found I was hyperventilating and getting really, really dizzy, and I found it very difficult to speak. And every time I looked down at my phone to check Google Maps or something, I found I got really, really dizzy, and I felt like I wanted to fall over. So my original goal was to spend 2 or 3 hours in this area. I was going to go exploring all around the river shore here. I was going to look at everything I could find, And then my idea was to ride across the bridge and then go down these side streets and then explore this side of the river and maybe go all the way into this sort of peninsula area. I was really going to do a deep dive into this whole region, but when I got there, I was in bad condition. I was in bad physical shape. So it turned out once I got there, all I could do was find shade and then hang out in the shade and rest and try to get my breath back. But then I did ride my bike a little bit. You can see these very small streets. Let me zoom in a little bit more. I don't know if a lot more detail will show up, but this is essentially where I was. I rode down, I believe, yeah, this street here, and then I went down this one, and I think I was blocked. I kept trying to get to the river, but every time I tried to go towards the river, I was blocked. So I ended up getting pushed in this direction, and I tried to go down to the river again and again and again. I never managed to get there. I kept getting pushed in this direction further and further. So eventually I was just sort of lost in this network of tiny roads and all these houses here, and I never made it to the river. And I was feeling so unwell that I eventually gave up. So at some point when I was deep in here, I just turned around and tried to find my way out, and I made my way all the way back to the main road here, and then I just turned left and rode all the way back to the hotel, and that was pretty much the end of the day. Let's turn on satellite view just for a second. So this is the area where I was exploring, and again, okay, so here you can see all the boats. These are the boats that I wanted to take a look at. So I was trying to get down to here, and whenever I tried to go down this road or this one, it was blocked off and I couldn't get there. So I tried to go down this way and I couldn't get there. I couldn't. So I never saw any of these boats. I was just in this sort of cluster. I don't even know where I was at this point, to be honest. I didn't have any kind of a tracking app operational, so I can't even look back at any kind of tracking program to see exactly where I was. I was just lost in this area, and I have no idea where I was. But yeah, let's zoom out on a satellite view. And so this is where I was, out in this direction right here. And then I rode back on the main road, crossed the bridge here, and I basically retraced my steps, retraced my pedaling all the way back to this point, and then I turned down this road and I went back to my hotel. So that's pretty much it. That's all I did on that day, and that is the blue dot summary for that failed bike ride. I don't know whether I'm going to go back here or not. I would like to, because as I said, I completely failed. I never even got close to the river, and I wouldn't mind going back and taking another stab at it. But I think I have to wait for a couple of more days until I'm feeling better, and then I can go out maybe and tackle this particular ride one more time. So that's it. Let's zoom all the way out. Look at Sumatra there, Malaysia. So, and I hope that cleared up a little bit of the geography of where I went on that bike ride. And I'll see you in the next Blue Dot segment.